In the last video tutorial, I have covered about find element method. The find element method is responsible to find only one matching web element for a given locating strategy. But as I have said earlier that a locating strategy may find one or more than one matching web element. So if you want to get all the matching web elements, then we need to use another method called find elements, and the return type of find elements method is a list of web element. Technically, find element method also calls find elements method internally, and it returns you the first matching web element from the list. So let's see how we can use the find elements method, what is its return type, and what happens when find elements method does not find the matching web element for a given locating strategy. So on this test web application, we have two input boxes, one for email, one for password, and both the input boxes has been created using the same tag called input. So if I use the locating strategy called tag name, then it should give me total 2 web elements, and we know that input tag can be used to create different input elements as well. So let's see how many input tag elements we have on this page. For that, you can press Ctrl F and then use /input. So you can see it is showing you total 3 web elements. If you mouse over on this yellow one, you can see it is highlighting the email text box. If you hit the enter, then it will highlight the second matching web element. Hit the enter one more time and you can see login button is also created using the input tag. So if I use the tag name locator with the input value, then it will return me total 3 web elements. And since I need to retrieve all 3 web elements, I need to use find elements method here. I have already created the basic program where I am opening a Chrome browser and I am loading the application URL under test. Similar to find element, I need to use browser reference to call the find elements method. So use Chrome driver dot find elements, and you can see it is overloaded. One method taking the locator of type by, another we have multiple arguments. So we need to use the first method, that is find elements, which is accepting the by locator. And previously I have already told that by is an abstract class. So use by, then we have a static method called tag name, and the value of tag will be input. Now the return type of this find elements method is a list of web elements. So let me store into a list of web element here, and list will be imported from the java.util package. And here I am going to print the size of my list, which is expected to be 3. So use the sysout and use some text like total matching web elements and use all input elements dot size. And after this I am going to close my browser. So I am going to use the quit method. I have already explained what is the difference between close and quit. Let me run this program. So you can see it is giving you total 3 matching web elements, which is expected because we know that there are total 3 web elements created using the input tag. So this is the basic of find elements. Now let's think of a scenario. What will happen if find elements does not find any web element for a given locating strategy? For example, I am going to use the wrong tag name like input1. We know that there is no tag called input1. In the previous video, I have shown you that when find element method does not find any matching web element, then it used to throw an exception called no such element exception. Let's see what happens in case of find elements method. I'm going to run this program. And you can see we don't see any exceptions, but their total matching web elements count is 0. So that is a major difference between find element and find elements method. So when find elements method does not find any matching web element for a given locating strategy, then it will simply give you an empty list. It will not throw any kind of exception. You would have noticed here that when I was running the program, it has given me an empty list immediately. Think of a scenario in a web page, whatever web element you are looking for, that is appearing after some seconds, like 10 seconds. And I am saying that find elements method is used to find more than one web element. So do you think that find elements method should wait for some time so that it can look for the web element which is coming later? Let's give it a try. I have a HTML code. In this code, I have an element which will appear after 10 seconds. So let me open this HTML page into Chrome. So click on view and view current file in Chrome. So you can see we see some paragraph first, and after 10 seconds an input box will be loaded. You can see input box has been loaded here. If you inspect this text box, you can see it has been created using the input tag. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to use find element and find elements both, and let's see whether both methods will wait for this element to be appear on the web page or not. So first of all, I am going to copy this HTML URL and put inside my get method. Let me comment these lines and let's use find element method first. So use Chrome driver dot find element by dot tag name input, and return type of find element is a web element. And let me use sysout just to print the output of is displayed method. Let me run this program and see whether it is able to find the element after waiting for some seconds automatically or not. And before running, I am going to put some timestamp. So let me put sysout new date, and immediately after find element method I am going to put again new date. Let me run this program. Chrome is launched, website is also loaded, and if you see the console, we have already one exception which says that no such element exception. So we see the first date which is after launching the Chrome driver. After that we don't have any date printed. You can see down because exception occurred because of find element method. It is not able to find any input tag element. So by default find element method did not wait for element to be loaded because we know that input element will be loaded after 10 seconds. Let's see the behavior of find elements method in this case. So use Chrome driver dot find elements by dot tag name input, and the return type of find elements will be list of web element. And after printing the date, I am going to print the size of my list, which is input le dot size. Let's run this program now. So you can see browser is closed, and you can see here we have first timestamp which is 23:56:57, and immediately after a second it prints another date, and you can see the size of list is 0. So find element and find elements method both did not wait for element to be appeared. So as soon as URL is loaded, it will try to find the web element. If it is not finding, then it will simply return. Find element will return you the exception, but find elements will return you empty list. It is not going to wait for web element. It is not going to wait for the web element to be appeared. It does not matter whether element is present on web page or not. But this behavior can be changed using the wait mechanism, which we are going to see in upcoming videos. So that's all in this video. If you have any doubt, please comment on this video. If you really like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe and share with others. Thank you everyone.